Hello, my name is Pranayvir Lotey, and today I will be discussing the considerations of gene therapy treatment. Gene therapy is a new form of treatment that is used to treat genetic mutations or potentially harming factors inside a human body. This is a process that is done by taking out a harmful gene and replacing it completely with a gene that is functioning properly or modified. This process is very risky due to the fact that it is only tested on patients that have a disease or mutation that has not been cured. It, in addition to making necessary changes, can also be used to make optional aesthetic changes in order to alter the genome of the future generation. Gene therapy is a non-reliable method of repairing the genome or aiding with diseases, and there are several considerations one must go through in order to decide if they want to go through with the process of gene therapy. Mutations from the therapy. With gene therapy, there is frequent transfer of genes in and out of the human body. When the genes come out of the human body, according to Andy Coghan of the New Scientist magazine in Source A, the team took bone marrow out of the stem cells from the boy when he was 13. The patient is now 15 years old and is free of all previous medication. This shows that the genes were beneficial for when they returned to the boy's body. This farming of genes is very open to mutations of the wrong kind. As it says in the passage, the scientist gave the boy mutated versions of the gene that he provided to the scientist. This transfer of genes can be seen by this graphic here. There's many mutations being made to the actual gene in and out of the body. It is widely known that the human genome is very susceptible to mutations that are not intended. Coding errors happen all the time and are usually fixed by somatic cells, but with this transfer of genes, the genes are genetically modified and then they are placed back into the body. With this, there is a higher risk of these genes mutating when they re-enter the body. Gene therapy as a relatively new treatment. Another major consideration that should be made when considering gene therapy to treat diseases or mutations is the fact that the treatment itself is fairly new to the medical field. The diagnostics or the procedures of the test and the results are still being researched and tested. There are a few factors that come into play with a medical treatment that is new and currently, as proven previously, not fully reliable. One of these factors is that the accessibility of the gene therapy treatment is not widespread. Another factor to consider is the price of an extensive treatment like gene therapy. The price of the therapy. It is fairly easy to see why gene therapy is so expensive, and one of those reasons is that the treatment is fairly new. This means that many doctors won't specialize in this treatment, and that the few that do will be charging a higher price because of its exclusivity. For example, in Source D by Carolyn Y. Johnson, the writer states that the estimated cost to cure blindness is around $850,000. Later, it is stated that the lowered price is around $425,000 per eye. This shows that the price of the gene therapy is ridiculously high, in which in some cases would be completely unaffordable for the customers who need it the most. With this evidence, it is reasonable to say that lower income families will not be able to afford the treatment, thus reducing the accessibility. Accessibility of the treatment. It can be seen that gene therapy is difficult to access. In Source E, when Kate Sheridan of Newsweek is talking about a Syrian boy named Hassan, who had a fatal skin condition that could cause his death, she said in order to save him, Hassan had to go to a German hospital, which is very far away from his home country of Syria, where gene therapy was probably unavailable. The boy would have probably died if he had not been moved to a hospital that had been specialized in the treatment using gene therapy. This is because in the article it said that his condition was so fatal that an option of no treatment would have led to his death. The accessibility and the price of gene therapy are to be greatly considered when thinking if gene therapy is the right option, or if it is even an option for the patient to be treated. This is because gene therapy is extremely expensive compared to other treatments and is also widely unavailable to most people who need it. It could be argued that the benefits that gene therapy provides far outweigh the negatives that should be considered when thinking about the treatment. The benefit that the treatment provides is that if it is done correctly, it could save the life of a human being or make it better by resolving a disease or a mutation in the body. The idea of saving a human life is very important. It is smart to wait for gene therapy to be fully reliable and proven by scientists, because the chances that the gene could potentially cause cancer, as stated in source E, or something worse inside the genes is still present. And this slight chance, it could make the life of a suffering child even worse. This is why the considerations listed above should be thought about carefully when considering gene therapy. In conclusion, it is wise to consider the mutations that can be caused by gene therapy, the price that gene therapy comes with, and the availability of the treatment itself when deciding if gene therapy is the right option for a person with a disease or mutation. Also, it is wise to wait until gene therapy is fully developed and proven, and then it can be used widely with full confidence that therapy will work. Thank you.